Heyo everybody, Haku here, back with the second half of Magical Girl Raising Project Limited, Chapter 1, and I'm really excited so far. The first part was pretty good, it was just introducing new characters and building stuff up, but I think that we've got like 11, 12 pages left in the chapter. I think we might actually get more when it comes to like the actual content and big surprising things in these last 11, 12 pages than we did in the first part. Because things are really ramped up now. We have the Evil Witch, you have Toko the Fairy, we have the 7 magical girls, or is it 6? Am I miscounting here? We have the 5 students, the teacher, and the turtle, so 7. So I'm really excited to see what happens here. Will a character die Chapter 1? I can't remember when in Unmarked Nemarine died, if that was Chapter 1 or Chapter 2. But I believe Restart we had a character die in the first chapter, so I wouldn't be surprised if one or even more of them got killed here. And my guess would be, my first of all guess would be Funny Trick, because she's my favorite so far, and Nemarine was my favorite at the beginning of Unmarked, died first. Masked Wonder was my favorite at the beginning of Restart and died kinda first, I guess. Does Magical Daisy really count since she was only around to get introduced and then killed off? I don't know. But basically first. So I have not high hopes for Funny Trick's survival. And I think that her dying would be a lesson to Umi to be like, you want to go on all these adventures and stuff? Well, it's not that glamorous. Bam, your friend's dead. Or Umi could die to be like, you go off chasing adventures like that, that's what happened, you die. And it's a lesson to all the other characters, and kind of a tragic first death or whatever, that she doesn't really get to go on her big adventure because bam, she's the first one dead. I think that either of those are probably the biggest possibility to go out first. Also, for who the Evil Witch is, I'm thinking it might actually be Ripple. Could maybe be Snow White, but I think it's actually Ripple, would be my guess. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's completely unrelated to any of them, but they're after Toko, and I just don't trust Toko. I think maybe it's FOB flashbacks, but I don't trust Toko because she just took some random girls, made them into magical girls, and said, hey, you're fighting this person who is, I didn't even mention last time, but trained in combat. They are the 7 that are supposed to protect her. They just got their magical powers. They don't really know how to use their magical powers yet. Even at the most basic level, they can only do what they figure is instinctive. They've had no practice. They've probably had no combat training unless some of them maybe took some kind of martial arts class or something. But other than that, they have no training at all to fight as magical girls. So I feel like whoever this Evil Witch is probably just going to completely demolish them. Don't know if they'll kill all of them, but they're probably going to totally demolish them. So yeah, I guess those are some thoughts after the first half and going into the second half. Don't remember if there's anything else that I thought would be appropriate to say here. So I guess let's just start reading, and if I think of something else, I'll cut in to talk about it. So we're starting off from Funny Trick. Oh yeah, we're at the very end of page 24, about to go on to 25, and we're starting from Funny Trick's perspective. Okay, Funny Trick. Is everyone else doing okay? Umishi Shihabara, who she's known for a long time, seems to be doing fine. Umi's comment? Oh yeah, and where we left off, the Evil Witch had just approached Toko and confronted her, and Toko gave the signal for them to turn into magical girls and attack. Is everyone doing okay? Umi Shihabara, who she's known for a long time, seems to be doing fine. Umi's common sense had already gone before this all started. Mine Musubiya, the class president, which seems to be a quite intelligent sounding title, 2 first-grader students who appeared to be serious and diligent students, judging by how they wear their uniforms properly, Miss Himeno, who, although she appeared more younger than Kaio, would live twice as long as her, making her rich with life experience. None of them seemed like they would live an avant-garde life like Umi. At least that's how it should be. Okay, yeah, also, Umi is Captain Grace, Funny Trick is Kaio, who is her friend, the class president is the Candle Girl, the turtle, May, is Hot Pocket Penmei, something, I don't know. Pops of Tenmei, I have no idea. Popsicle May is the turtle. And then the first year students are the Techno Angel, and the Postery is the carrier pigeon girl. I think that's everybody. Hey, the teacher. Oh yeah, the teacher is the ballerina. And then I named the 5 students. Alright. So yeah. Just trying to get these characters down. But it's a lot to learn 7 characters. Designs, name/characters, magical girl name/characters, and magical girl designs. Like all within one all within one chapter. Not even done with the chapter yet. It seemed like a nightmare. She was pulled into something she wasn't allowed to defy. The cosplay magical girl corps whose mission was to attack this evil witch. While she didn't even know who her opponent is supposed to be, they vaguely gave an evil image toward the van, keeping what they do to thieves or Wait, what? Hold on, let me reread that. They vaguely gave an evil image toward the van, keeping what they do to thieves or terrorists unchanged. So I guess they're saying they drive a van, which is kind of an evil thing. Okay. Because most criminals drive vans. Oh gosh. That seems very, I don't know, bigoted toward van drivers out there. But the Coat Girl was shouting something to someone inside the van while facing off against Umi. Her reaction speed was a little surprising. Not only was she quick like a magical girl, she seemed to be aware of the movement that's happening over here. Before anyone could move, Umi had swung her sword, aiming to knock the girl down. The girl graciously moved to avoid the attack. So if she's yelling at the van, there's probably more in the van. Kaio felt a little relieved. She was relieved that the girl was able to dodge the attack that might have killed her in one hit. Her opponent was clearly shocked, and was only able to avoid Umi, who had transformed into a magical girl by sheer speed. How? There's so many of them. The girl shouted. At the same time, the girl with the coat took it off and kicked away her sneakers. Under her coat was a kimono. However, its hem was about 15 centimeters above her knees, boldly exposing her thighs. Her face was properly aligned, and above her head were rabbit... Okay, so this is the rabbit lolly. Above her head were rabbit ears. Even though they looked at her, she had a figure that seemed to be impossible. Furthermore, the driver from inside the car took a look. From here, she had a black coat, black sunglasses, and black middle-folded cap. Something like a henchman of the Mafia. Okay, so that's probably the Suzaku girl? But what I'm thinking here is that, and this is something I wanted to say at the very beginning of the chapter last video, but I had totally forgot, that when I was thinking, looking at the designs and stuff, and especially being more confirmed since we had that group at the beginning, Unmarked was about individuals fighting each other, and Restart was about groups fighting against a hidden, unseen, bigger threat of conquering the game and taking out the Dark Lord or whatever. So this, I think, might actually be groups fighting against each other in some sort of, not really group warfare, so to speak, but I thought it was going to have more to do with the Land of Magic, and I thought it was maybe going to have, like, group fights. So it seems, because we had already gone through the survival game type thing, so I think that the whole group fights guess might be kind of accurate, seeing what's going on here, and a piece of dust just fell right in front of the camera, blocking my view. But either way, if you didn't notice that, it was an oddly large piece of dust. So yeah, let me get it off my screen before I try to read. Okay, so carrying on ahead, I'm just saying this whole group warfare thing seems to be all but confirmed, since now we have another group about to fight the really rookie group who should probably, if the other girls have any experience being magical girls, they should probably just completely whomp on this new rookie group. But either way. Okay. Furthermore, oh wait, just read that. Okay, next page. Page 26. There were more enemies than we expected. We should withdraw. The black-shirted figure pulled out something that looked like a rod. She pointed it outside the window. Its tip was pointed this way. As flaming gravels the size of your thumbs began shooting off from it. The magical The mafia girl was also a witch. Kaio, who had been transformed into the magical girl, funny trick, beat down the gravels headed her way with a wand. Since the flaming gravels were shot with no order, there was an element of surprise to them. The fact is, Kaio was surprised. However, the gravel's speed could never reach a magical girl's reflexes. Some of the gravels were knocked away by Umi's sword, another was beaten away by ribbons, each one disappearing. While everyone was deflecting the projectiles, the driver was driving the van away while continuing to shoot, making a U-turn in the process. When the car swerved, whoosh, a large net was thrown. It was huge in size, but slower than the gravels, and even though it was a non-military weapon, Kaio still wanted to dodge it. But unfortunately, it managed to catch one person. The European-looking postman magical girl was caught in the net. She was rather slow. Of course, she was one of the two first graders. The car that threw the net was about to drive away. The rainbow girl chased after it. The rabbit girl remained and continued to fight. The Arabian dancer girl dove from the sky, repeatedly launching hit-and-run attacks. Rabbit Ear avoided it while she restrained the wedding dress girl. Kaio saw that she was even looking at the trajectory of the aggressive pirate's Umi's sword attack. Okay. Kaio looked down at her feet. A postman girl was struggling in the net. She tried to break the net, but the net never ripped apart. It seemed to get even more tangled as she struggled. You poor thing. She clearly wasn't good at fighting, yet she still went along here anyway. She recalled the time the fairy appeared. She wasn't alone back then. She was probably dragged along by a friend. She was just like Kaio. Kaio called out to the girl at her feet. Don't move. Try to curl up as small as you can. The girl looked up to her with a fearful expression, so Kaio tried to gently smile back at the girl. Kaio was surprised that she was able to show kindness to others. Perhaps she was self-deprecating herself. The postman girl listened to what Kaio said. She held her knees and rolled up inside the net. Then Kaio completely covered the girl with a cloak. Kaio, the magical girl funny trick, can use her magic to switch two hidden objects with each other. It was like a magic... so as long as nobody's looking at the two objects, that's what they meant by hidden objects. It was like a magic trick. Only the difference is that it shouldn't be, is that it should be real this time. Kano? Okay, I think they meant Kaio. It was just a typo. Kaio had already confirmed the contents of the garbage can beside the vending machine when she got here. There was an empty can inside that can. She had to recreate a state where both the can and the girl were unseen. Kaio tapped the cloak with the tip of her wand. The cloak that was swelled up suddenly became smaller, as if there was nothing there. When she took the cloak off, an empty can rolled away. For now, she was able to save the girl. She looked towards the vending machine that she used her powers on. The postman girl popped her head out of the garbage can, looking at her surroundings. Postery the Grouch. Okay, hold on. Garbage can, looking at her surroundings. Besides her, the van was speeding away. The rainbow girl that was chasing the car stopped in front of the garbage can and dragged out the postman girl. The rainbow girl shouted out, "We'll handle this." The postman girl was dragged by the rainbow girl, both chasing the escaping van. With the postman's state, Kaio doubted that she even understood what was going on. Merciful words continued to float back into Kaio's head. And now back to Captain Grace's point of view, at page 28. The rainbow girl and the postman girl were both chasing after the escaping van. Using a magical girl's running speed, then there was no way they'll lose the van. It's fine if they handle it for now. This is what Captain Grace should be doing. The rabbit girl moved well. Without even looking at the Arabian girl, she was able to dodge her attacks by backstepping. She pulled in the ballerina girl using her own ribbons that were undulating together and kicked her opponent, who had lost her balance, away from her. The ribbon girl made a wall of ribbons to catch herself from the momentum of the kick, as the wall of ribbons caught her and caused her to roll on the ground. So I guess maybe creating and controlling the ribbons might be the teacher's, Nozomi I think was her name, Nozomi's power. Maybe. The escaping van and the rabbit girl, she could choose either, but the one she's fighting now seems a lot more fun. Umi couldn't help but to think that two magical girls fighting each other has a sense of romanticism to it. The rabbit girl was strong. She didn't show any distress when she was attacked. She easily attacked the Arabian girl's diving attacks, continuously dodging the attacks from the other magical girls who attacked from all sides. Originally attacking her from her blind spots and above, she managed to avoid them all without getting hurt. Kaio, who carelessly swung her wand around, had her arm stopped, grabbed by Umi, who she was almost about to hit. Both the wedding dress girl and the Arabian dancer couldn't lay a hand on her. She was even able to move her waist around to avoid the ribbon girl. It seems that everyone was just fiddling around. Were they afraid of the fire gravels, or were they just unable to surpass the strength of their enemy? An unarmed opponent's pretty sad, thought Umi to herself, but she looked at her opponent once more. She was also a kind of magical girl, just as Umi was. A magical girl is strong. If she was just as strong as Umi, what would it be like to fight her? Just thinking about it made Umi excited. Properly attacking from the front was the creed of Umi Shihabara. Umi went in front of the rabbit girl, who was avoiding the other magical girl's attacks. Holding her single-edged sword, she swung its peak at the rabbit girl. The rabbit girl dodged the attack by crouching. Gotcha, thought Umi as the rabbit girl's ears touched the ground. But the rabbit girl launched a kick toward her direction, and, since it was unexpected, Umi couldn't dodge it, and blood came pouring from Umi's thighs. Okay. So the rabbit girl just sort of flopped over to dodge the attack, and then nailed Umi in the thighs, making blood pour from it. Okay. While Umi was injured in her attack, the atmosphere changed. Not the atmosphere around Umi, it was the atmosphere of everyone else that changed. Like a fairy tale, their purpose was to defeat the evil witch. Even though they were living their fantasies, fighting as magical girls, they were hesitant in using their weapons, and she was too upset by having shed blood. Kaio, the class president, her teacher too, they weren't as accustomed to violence as Umi. Umi dared to laugh loudly. If she did, the enemy's morale might lower and she might gain an advantage. Her enemy was an evil witch. If she gives up, the world will be destroyed. She held her sword up high. Now she swung her sword downward. Although it seems like she's attacking nothing, that was part of her plan. She should see a big opening from the enemy. If the rabbit girl is on the level she thinks she's in, the rabbit girl will deflect it. So I'm worried now, too, that what if they do kill the rabbit girl, but the rabbit girl is actually the good guy all along? And now that they've helped Coco, who is the bad person, now that they've helped the evil fairy, all the good guys are going to be after them. That could also be a very real possibility here. Alright, what's your next move? But the rabbit girl that was standing there just turned tail and ran away. Stepping away, so to speak. She was trying to run away from the magical girls that were surrounding her. In a panic, Umi swung her sword, but the rabbit girl lowered her body. Are you running away, you coward? Calling her a coward might have been due to Umi's own frustration. The rabbit girl who'd turned tail had already been out of range from her slash. Umi threw her sword in burning rage, but the rabbit girl easily dodged it by crouching low, and she kept on running without slowing down, actually running on all fours like a quadruped, if its speed or agility in a single distance. Though it was frustrating, her opponent seems to be faster than Umi. However, endurance in a long-distance chase, Umi didn't know all the rabbit girl would do unless she tested it out now. Even if she didn't know, it would be worth trying for now. She had to catch up with her. As long as Umi kept her in sight, she could win. Like a real rabbit, her enemy was running with her hands and her feet. Umi chased her. She ran straight on the road, running past the school and climbing up the Agriculture Corporation building. She jumped off the rooftop and landed on top of a warehouse, and when she ran down toward the ground, the rabbit girl's speed decreased slightly, shortening their distance. There. Umi stretched her hand, on the verge of grabbing the enemy's collar, but then she felt an intense shock in her thighs and jumped backwards, stopping to hold her feet. It wasn't the rabbit girl. She didn't move to attack this way. She was literally fleeing like a rabbit. Her figure disappeared right away. Umi looked around her surroundings. She felt an attack, didn't she? No, that can't be right. There was no one here. There was no one around. Was someone hiding? Where? There were only sidewalks in the road, and the other surroundings were fields. She felt a sharp pain in the same place where the rabbit kicked her a little earlier. It wasn't even a deep wound. She tried grabbing onto the wound in her thighs, but as she thought it was only a scratch. There was shock and pain, but no damage. But it wasn't an illusion. Only the facts remained. Umi had lost the rabbit girl. Now we have Rainpo or Rainpow. If any of you know how to pronounce this, I know Platt will because he'll have seen the katakana. But if you know whether to pronounce it Rainpo or Rainpow, just let me know. Because I don't want to actually try to look it up because I might get spoiled. Every animal was similar, including humans, but magical girls had individual differences, not just in their unique magical skill, but they often had huge differences in their physical abilities. There was quite a big gap between the rabbit girl and the 4 people fighting her. The Arabian dancer was fast, the pirate was powerful. Even though the ribbon girl was worse in comparison to both, she could still fight. I guess the wedding dress girl was only there to fill in the role of restraining the enemy. Currently, the magical girl Rainpo, I'll just call her Rainpo for now. Rainpo had another magical girl running behind her, Tatsuko Sakaki, who had also transformed into a magical girl, but even compared to the wedding dress girl, she was slow. Just to be blunt, she didn't seem to be strong either. Okay, Tatsuko Sakaki had another girl running behind her. Well, so Rainpo anxiously called out, "Tachan, you okay?" So, Tatsuko Sakaki, that's familiar. Hold on a sec. Mine is the wedding dress girl. Tatsuko is the angel, isn't she? Or the techno angel, right? Or is Tatsuko the posteree? And then I thought Rainpo, they said, running behind her and fighting. Yeah, Rainpo has to be the rabbit. So the rabbit and the angel know each other? This is weird. What? Rainpo anxiously called out, "Tachan, you okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay." She still seemed to be able to keep up with the van without having to catch her breath, probably. Okay. Okay, so maybe she was just thinking about the rabbit girl and her situation, but she isn't. But she isn't the rabbit girl. Okay. So I thought Rainbow was one of the enemies from the way they were talking. But maybe Rainbow was the angel and she's talking to Posteree. Rainbow anxiously called out, "Tachan, you okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay." Still, she seemed to be able to keep up with the van without having to catch her breath, probably. Rainbow didn't leave Tatsuko behind, yet she kept her speed so as to not lose sight of the van. The car kept going straight from the bypass, straight to the highway, but it's got to turn somewhere. If that happens, they won't be able to maintain their 100km/h speed. If the car went off to the highway, Rainbow wouldn't have to worry about speeding up. In other words, either way is fine with her. Rainbow confirmed whether or not Tatsuko was following her while she looked behind her worryingly. She gradually increased her speed. While the van rushed through sidewalks or oncoming traffic, car horns blaring, it bent down a side path without slowing down. All right. Rainbow knew the lay of the land. The road ahead was narrow and led to a back alley. Even if the car could escape to the main streets, at this time of day it'll be filled with cars. It won't be unusual for there to be traffic. However, if they even decided that, they'll have even more witnesses, so it'll be a worse decision than sticking to the back alleys. Rainbow jumped off a block fence and jumped toward a pine tree. Using the force from there, she grabbed onto some wires and ran on a rainbow bridge toward her target. Creating the rainbow bridge took 0 seconds. This was Rainbow's magical skill. Okay. So, Rainbow Angel Techno is, oh, and it makes sense. Rainbow makes rainbows. Okay, makes sense. Using that page break to grab some water. Now we're going on to page 32. Okay, almost done with it. So Rainbow or Tatsuko could die, actually. We'll see how it goes. However, it wasn't a true rainbow. It was strong. Rainbow ran on the rainbow bridge toward the van. Unlike how the car had to turn according to the roads, the rainbow bridge didn't have to obey any roads. Because it was a bridge in the air, she could go straight towards it. She read where the car was going to using its speed and headed in that direction. However, an accident happened. Smoke seemed to be blowing from the rear of the car. Rainbow jumped off from the Rainbow Bridge. At the same time, the sound coming from the van reverberated, and the ground shook. The gray smoke rose even more violently. Rainbow held her mouth and looked above. She saw things like figures moving through the smoke, running over the rooftops. 2 figures dividing and running in opposite directions. A smoke curtain. Did they use it to split up and run away? What happened, Kaori-chan? Looks like they split up, I think. That's right. Tachan, you can follow one, I'll do the other. Okay. Tatsuko placed her foot on the block fence, running along the rooftops. Rainbow also tried to run, but felt someone looking behind her. There was a kid who looked to be 3 years old, looking frightened alongside a middle-aged woman as they saw Rainbow. Rainbow opened up her hands to the woman. Happy Halloween! She laughed. The woman said, "Oh, it's that time of year." After confirming that she was calm, Rainbow climbed up to the roof. What is this? Wedin, who, I guess it might be a play on wedding, and it might be Candle Girl's name, but remaining time 23 hours 50 minutes. Do not know what that means. Mine Musubiya. Is this whole novel going to be one of those things where everything happens in a single day, and this is the countdown of those 24 hours? Either way. Mine Musubiya had always tried to judge if she can compromise something. Her mother told her, you shouldn't think in terms of loss, though Mine never thought this was a wrong way of thinking. Okay. It's not that she denied any friendship or love, but compared to money, status, and other important things, she'd often have to choose between which of them would be better. If she gained better things from studying, more than the pleasure she got from playing, she would choose to study. If stress from studying piled up, she'd resolve it using her hobbies. In Mine's case, she'd borrow anime and DVDs and watch them. Compare, then choose. It was very simple. Be kind to her other classmates and they'll let her copy their notes. There's a trade-off involved when she consulted with them. If there's merit to it, Mine would give her kindness. She had a dream of becoming a magical girl since she was young. Of course she'd take it. Fighting an evil witch was no big deal compared to the merit of becoming a magical girl. Okay, I like this. This explains more of why she was one of the ones that was like, yeah, of course, we should go along with what Coco says. The pirate came back in a state of shock. Rabbit Girl wasn't here. It seems she's escaped. Hold up. You can't just let him escape. The fairy Toko was angry at the magical girls who were all lined up. Her anger was directed at the pirate. But then, when the Rainbow Girl and the Postman Girl came back as well, Toko's anger exploded. Just how'd they escape? You guys had the advantage. You still couldn't handle it? Man, I'm tired. I just can't run away again. Stupid. You didn't even fight yourself. Why are you being bossy? Toko reacted sensitively to the words spoken by Mine. Huh? The ones that didn't fight were you guys. I'm the one that made you into magical girls. Without me, you wouldn't be magical girls right now. If you're complaining to me about this, I can easily find other girls to turn to magical girls. Mine bit her lip. Although they couldn't deny that Toko was frustrated, Mine was also angry. Toko's words right now. She couldn't believe they were coming out of someone who was asking for help. Ignoring Toko, the pirate stepped forward. This wound. The pirate pointed to her thigh. Blood was flowing. Mine could see that too. The rabbit girl's kick still caused the scar to bleed. I felt like I was sliced with a huge blade, dragged across the mountainside, and then had salt pressed into my scar. Was that one of their magical skills? It's because of the evil witch. She's using magic. All the more reason to stop her as soon as you can. The Rainbow Girl shrugged. We tried to do something, but there was a lot of smoke and we couldn't see anything. The car stopped, but the people inside of it escaped. We looked around, but we couldn't find them. Oh, we also hid the car. With the magical girl's leg strength, there was no mistake in judging that they could catch up to the van, and if they fought with the passengers, there was no mistake in judging that they could handle it. But the possibility of the passengers escaping was lost on Mine. Mine breathed out a sigh. If we don't reflect on what happened, we won't be able to move on to the next step. And just how long do you plan on reflecting? You guys should chase after them. They're evil witches. The world's in danger. Your families are in danger. We should think more than just simply chasing after them. Hold on, just checking. As a magical girl, they gained powerful abilities and originally wanted to test them out on the evil witch. They shouldn't be careless. They had no choice. Their enemy could be equivalent or stronger than a magical girl. In addition, the strength that she thought was powerful was nothing when she fought with another magical girl. Mine could hardly follow the movements of the pirate and the rabbit girl with her eyes. Her magical girl, to seal promises, didn't seem like a power that could be used in battle, but the other magical girls might be able to use their powers in sync with each other. If Mine didn't know their powers, she wouldn't be able to instruct them. No, rather, should she be thinking about how she should use her own magical skill in battle? Whichever she chose, it'd be good to know what the other magical girls could do. I'm also going to agree with what the class prez said. The pirate agreed, though she didn't sound happy about it. Mine shook her head and waved her index finger. I'm not the class president. I'm Wedin. My magical girl name is Wedin. Since she's become such a character, she had to make it clear. When a villain calls out a heroine's name, they would say something like, "Damn you, Cutie Red," or "Damn you, Yoshiko Tanaka." Ah, I getcha. We can't work together unless we know our names, right? Well, I'm Captain Grace. Nice to meet you, Wedin. The pleasure's all mine, Captain Grace. They shook hands and nodded. What they thought was something similar. My tension was at its max, so I got way too hasty. Let's all introduce each other first. Not just names, of course, magical skills too. With such a small body, Toko managed to put up a loud voice. Ugh, why didn't you do it earlier? They're escaping. We'll catch them if they escape, naturally. And of course we'll do our best on that. We'll be like predators catching prey. Agreed. May also agrees to reflect. Oh, I can't believe you guys. If you don't stop them, you can't become official magical girls. I'm willing to reflect on what happened, but shouldn't we do this somewhere else? The ribbon girl, Miss Himeno. Was she thinking about the world, or was she concerned about her surroundings? The asphalt under them had been cracked and crushed by their leg strength. A garbage can was rolling in the middle of the street. Also, they kind of looked like a bunch of girls in cosplay. Although they weren't popular, there were houses, and the people surprised by the noises were coming here. Someone in a business suit said to an old woman, "I think they're shooting a movie," as she pointed at them. A middle-aged housewife was looking at her surroundings, and a 5-year-old girl was looking at them with bright adoration in her eyes. They couldn't finish here. The Japanese police might catch them. A patrol car will be here soon. Okay, so nobody died, and they're going to go introduce each other's names and powers. All of that actually works out really, really well. I mean, it's obviously not going to for the entire light novel, but for right now, that works out really well. Before I end the video, of course, some thoughts on the characters and stuff so far. I like that first chapter a lot. Characters from there are 7, plus the rabbit girl I'll count as 8, and Toko I'll count as 9. I'll talk about all 9 of the characters from least to most favorite. Least favorite's Toko, because Toko is definitely sketchy. I definitely think she's a bad guy trying to get them to kill the good guys, and we're going to find that out later as some sort of reveal, and it's going to be kind of sad because the good guys are going to be killing them off through this fight and stuff when they never knew they were the bad guys all along. See, I think Toko's definitely a dick. I don't trust Toko at all. Second to least favorite's Captain Grace. I think she's too hot-headed and running into stuff without thinking about it enough and putting everyone in danger. Next up, I guess May. May is a turtle, which is cool, but I don't know. We didn't get to learn enough about her, I guess. Then next, maybe Wedin. I really like Wedin, but we didn't really get to learn anything about her at all until right there at the end. So then getting into top 5, Postery in a trash can is adorable, so Postery. Then Rainbow, I guess. I really liked Rainbow. Or no, Rabbit Girl. Rabbit Girl before Rainbow. Rabbit Girl was really cool. I want to learn more about her. We don't know anything about her personality, but she was super strong, which is really cool. Then Rainbow is my third favorite so far. Really cool. I like Miss Himeno as the ballerina, and I have probably been really bad at ordering these all. But I like Miss Himeno a lot, what we learned first so far. So Ballerina Girl is my second favorite so far. And then my favorite so far is Funny Trick, which is why I'm really scared for her safety. Because I really like Funny Trick. So there were 2 in the van that escaped, I guess. One of those we don't know, One of those seems to be the Suzaku girl, because they said she looked like a traditional old Japanese gangster or whatever with the black clothing. So I think that's the Suzaku girl probably. And then the rabbit girl was one of the 3 that escaped. Was the 3rd who wasn't in the van with them when the smoke screen happened. So it seems like maybe the gravel, or the flaming gravel and the smoke, I think maybe all of that is part of, I think that's all part of the Suzaku girl's power, is that she has a pole or something. Maybe it's like supposed to be kind of like a sparkler or something, where it can just shoot out these giant flaming pieces of gravel or something and create smoke or whatever. So I'm thinking maybe that has something to do with the power of the Suzaku girl. Or whoever that girl was that was driving, at least. And maybe the net is part of the other girl's power. I just thought about that. So yeah, either way, I liked the chapter, I liked all the characters, and I'm excited Tuesday to start chapter 2. Depending on how long it is, it'll be split into 2 parts as well, and the first part will be Tuesday, second part will be whenever I can. Same with this week. So yeah, that's it. Thank you once again for watching. If you did like the video, comment down there. Tell me what you thought of the chapter. Please, no spoilers. What you thought of my thoughts so far. Subscribe for more Magical Girl Raising Project, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I can try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. And if you want a link to our Discord server to talk to me or more of us there, then just ask and I will... just ask and I can give you a link to the Discord server. But if I'm pronouncing any of the names or anything wrong, or anything like that, or there's anything that I somehow messed up on during the chapter, feel free to correct me or tell me how I'm supposed to pronounce them. So yeah, that's unless you don't really, it's like one of those things where you're like, he'll figure it out as he reads along, so I probably shouldn't. Then it's fine not to if you think it'll spoil me in some way or take away from the enjoyment of A, me reading, and B, you all seeing me read. So yeah, that's it. Thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.